This episode is sponsored by UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program. UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program are proud to support youth sports across our region and proud to sponsor the 2022 High School Football Preview on the Altoona Mirror YouTube channel. To learn more about their board-certified orthopedic surgeons, their specially trained concussion management experts, and the wide range of orthopedic conditions they treat, or to schedule an appointment in one of their facilities in Hollidaysburg, Ebensburg, or Bedford, visit upmcaltoona.com/ortho or call 814-889-3600. That's 814-889-3600. Tyson Reed kid. His mom and dad and grandfather come in and everything, and his mom, I go, hi, and dad's hi, and the mom goes, hey, you're the guy from the TV show. And then my wife took it away from me. She goes, wouldn't you rather be known as the guy from the newspaper? And I'm like, yeah, how about it? I don't read your paper, but I watch your TV show.
I got something good, too, actually. Last week I was at a bar. This guy,
you're getting that. There you
go. Here we go. I don't know this guy. He comes up to me, shakes my hand real hard. He goes, hey, man, I really love the YouTube show you guys do.
Hey, did you ever read any of my stuff? You write? You write? You write stuff?
I'm going to say, we're YouTube stars.
I know. I'd love to be. Love your column. Hated your column, but at least they read the column. Anyways, no complaints. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Week 6 of the high school football season here on Mirror TV on YouTube. And first of all, welcome back, yay! Our buddy, our Goomba. Goomba's Italian for friend. Mike Boydum, fresh off vacation, refreshed, revitalized, re-energized, still upset. But anyway.
Are you feeling better?
Hey, that wasn't a vacation. That was a healing trip.
A detoxification? Is it a detox?
Last time you saw him, he wasn't looking very well.
It's a detox, anyways. Andy Stein, our junior guru, Mike, our football guy, Dan Eisenberg behind the camera. I'm Scott Franca. Before we start, we got while Mike was gone. In fact, I wonder if Mike sent these to us. It was kind of like his, guys, I love you, I'm going to miss you. But somebody sent this, and they had a state college address on the envelope, but no name. Dan even put his FBI, CIA skills together. Now, I think we got a visual of what the house looked like, but there was no address. But somebody in State College sent us this. There's one for Mike. There's four. There's one for Dan. There's one. I mean, I just think that those are nice. And if you could feel, I wish we had Feel-O-Vision on YouTube. Because you should feel how soft this is. I mean, this would be my wife. I already said I want to make this a hand towel in the bathroom. She will not let me. Oh. She's afraid maybe the blue will bleed or something, or my kids will get toothpaste on my head. But anyways, I wish you would send us a note who you were to send this, because these are so nice.
These are awesome.
Says the Mirror didn't get this for us, did they? But just use a fake address to trick us. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for these. This will go up here on the behind.
It's also got our awesome sponsor on there. That's the important thing.
I know, and the sponsor. I don't think UPMC, unless they're using again a fake address, Dan, to do the runaround on this. But I have a feeling Dan will find out someday for us. Anyways, what we're going to find out first is what games Mike wants us to look at this week. And the first game we're going to look at and I love this one because I actually saw one of these teams last week, so I can talk about this one. Harrisburg 3-1 at Altoona 4-1. I'm curious why Harrisburg's a game behind, and if you knew that why. Or
well, they didn't play their first game. I shouldn't say that. They started the game. They played one play. There was lightning. And that's all they played. Got canceled.
Who was it against? Was it somebody probably would have beaten?
St. Vincent Peloti. It was like a big game. It was a showcase game. Like it was going to be a good game, and they're
probably not even going to try and finish that. Huh?
No, they're not. It's canceled.
Yeah. So Altoona coming off a nice win off Central Dauphin East. I was there. I was impressed with Altoona's defense against the pass in this game. Their DBs really did a nice job. Harrisburg's a really good team. I mean, Altoona's really going to have to be on their game, I imagine, for this one.
And it's Altoona has to be on guard because last year they got off to this good start. They were they won 4 of their first 5 games, and then the things kind of crumbled towards the end of the season there. So I think that Vince Niedermeyer feels like his team rebounded well from their loss to State College last week. He is concerned about the speed of Harrisburg, the athletes they have, but it's homecoming for Altoona. It's their 5th home game in 6 games, and they've played well there. They've only lost the State College game, and Harrisburg's having to make a long trip. I mean, I think Altoona needs to get a couple early points there, and as they do, run the clock and keep Harrisburg's offense off the field.
How about as far as Mike says, homecoming game? Does that make much of a deal to kids in high school? Like if you're playing your homecoming game?
I think every team I was ever on, I think our coach talked about there being a lot of distractions, a lot of people coming back, a lot of people you might know from people that graduated in the last previous couple of years. But I think it's still the same game. Just strap it up, line up, and see what you can do.
I'm assuming you were probably the homecoming queen. Did you have your king?
Sorry.
Wow.
Did you have your tux on over your uniform?
Wow. I was not homecoming queen. King. My God.
King.
I'm flustered now. I was not homecoming king,
homecoming
but
homecoming person.
There you go. If I would have been, I would have been the best one that ever came out of Mo Valley.
Did they put the king hat on the football players? Like some of the schools.
Yeah, actually, like our homecoming kings were. A lot of times they were on the football team, and they would be muddy and whatever, and for homecoming for half.
See, at Bishop Guilfoyle, I don't think they changed it, but you have a homecoming queen, and then the guy who escorts it. There's no. Now maybe they changed, but yeah, 1983. Because I'm bragging on this one, I escorted the girl that won, Suzanne Gratisac. Her and I were friends, and I was the escort.
So you're like the de facto king?
Yeah, well, so I tried to pass it off, and I can remember Sister Felicity going, no, we don't have a king. We just have a queen. You escort. I was like, I'll take it. I don't care. I was happy. Speaking of happy, one of these teams will not be happy Friday because they're both 5-0, and obviously one of them is going to lose. Bedford 5-0 at Penn Cambria 5-0. How many great games has Penn Cambria played in a row now? This is another one.
They're running the gauntlet right now, but
headline.
They're going to have to stop the Bedford running game. Ethan Weber has rushed for 14 yards a carry. I mean, this guy, and overall, Bedford's averaging almost 10 yards, 9.9 yards a carry running the ball. And that's something that Penn Cambria is going to have to stop. They defeated Central in one of their best wins of the year, and obviously they got the win against BG in a close game. But they haven't really had to. Those are, Central passes the ball a lot. BG has had a lot of big plays in the passing game. This is going to be a different challenge where they have to stop a running game. Bedford has a lot of experience from these playoff runs they've had the last few years. They have some different players, no more Mercury Swaim, but Kevin Ressler's doing a great job at quarterback for them, and this will be a very interesting game.
Now, have you ever had any time where you were like playing so many good teams in a row, and at some point you just were like, there's just so much you can only do, and I got to wonder if Penn Cambria. I can't wait to read John Hartsock did the preview, I believe, if I'm right, because I'd love to know that. I don't think Coach Felix would ever say we're not healthy, this person's down. Yeah. But I mean, those kids have played a lot of good teams in a row. How healthy are they?
It's hard to. I mean, you look at any of those Laurel Highlands teams, and a lot of tough schedules right there, especially in the beginning. But Yeah, that's tough. I remember when I was in high school, we had Junior Valley, Bellwood, Chestnut Ridge the last 3 weeks of the season, which that wasn't easy. So, do what you can right there. And I can say I truly have no idea who's going to win this game. But I can't say I stopped betting against Penn Cambria. I've learned my lesson there.
See, I took Penn Cambria, even though I didn't take him against BG. But no, I'm interested. Chestnut Ridge was in the ICC, or is that why?
Yeah,
wow.
back like mid 2000s. I remember we beat them one year. Even
okay, I probably just I'm old. I don't remember that. But I thought, geez, that is a gauntlet right there.
Yeah.
Our next game, and again, Mike's going to make this one point about the team Bishop Guilford is playing, but BG at Central Cambria. And BG, a really good 3-2 team. Central Cambria?
Central Cambria has run the same gauntlet that Penn Cambria has run, including playing Penn Cambria. And they've had some really, good performances. Like last week, they lost to Bedford 21-0. I mean, they only gave up 21 points to Bedford. Their offense didn't catch up to their defense that night. And then other nights, their offense has played really well, and their defense hasn't been there. So Coach Don Fife, in his first year there, he said they just need to put everything together the same game. And if they can get a win against one of these teams like BG that nobody really expects them to beat, that's his words, they can really turn things around. That's what they need, he thinks, for their program right now. And this is a game that they're going to be gunning for. And Coach Wheeler says he's watched Central Cambria in person twice, and he was really impressed with them.
Do you think kids like Central Cambria kids will sit there and look at BG and go, man, BG's 3-2. This is going to be hard. We're 1-4. Or do kids not think stuff like that?
Even more so than that, I'd be thinking like defending Class A state champions. I mean, that's I'm sure that's in the back of their mind. But as I was talking about before just now, I mean, I was talking about a lot of tough schedule there in the Laurel Highlands. I mean, Central Cambria, I think, is exhibit number 1, really.
Yeah. Our next game, 2 3-2 teams. Bellwood-Antis on the road at Southern Huntingdon. And Southern Huntingdon coach again, Aaron Batesel.
Yeah.
Aaron Batesel's done a really nice job. I mean, I can remember in Southern Huntingdon would either have a really nice game and then they'd get kind of, pile drive the next guy. This guy has them in every game. I mean, they're 3-2, and it's a small school. And now, and maybe you two disagree, Bellwood-Antis doesn't look as invincible, or people aren't afraid of them as much anymore. I got to think Southern Huntingdon being at home would be a favorite on this one.
Well, they might have the best player on the field too, and Nate Myers, their quarterback. He's thrown for 300 yards in games this year. He's run for 200 yards in games. He's a very multi-talented guy. And, ironically, the reason Bellwood may be, in my book, is still the favorite in this game is because they lost last week.
That was great.
Coach Loveridge said, that didn't sit well when they lost to Juniata Valley. And it's tough to see them with how dominant they've been in the Inter-County Conference over the years, losing 2 straight ICC games. But, this is at Southern Huntingdon. Nate Myers is a really good player. But the only thing that concerns me about Southern Huntingdon is they gave up 50-plus points to Mount Union last week. So this might be a game where Bellwood's offense can get on track.
Yeah, if you're Southern Huntington's coach or players, would you much rather have had Bellwood coming off a win over Juniata Valley?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think I think Bellwood's going to come in and take off. I do think, like we were talking about, it's strange to see Bellwood at 3-2 right now. I mean, they've dominated the ICC, and I've seen most of those games the last few years. So, but at the same time, wouldn't really surprise me if we see Bellwood run the table the rest of the way.
But you know what? Maybe this makes them work harder. Maybe this makes those kids pay attention more to detail, that they're not just crushing everybody, and then they get to the playoffs, and then we know what's happened in the past here. But this next game, too, I mean, wow, I don't know who's covering this for us, but and this is a game I'd like to listen to on the radio or watch on TV. Northern Bedford, 5-0, at Conemaugh Township, 5-0. And I'm just going to ask Mike, what do we know about Conemaugh Township? Other than they have really cool helmets, right? Didn't you show me that?
Well, they won the championship the one year. I don't know if they still have that helmet or not.
Mike showed me. That would have been a cool thing. I hope I didn't steal that from Mike. But yeah, their helmet was voted like nicest, coolest helmet or something.
And we know that Jeff Hostetler went to Conemaugh Township, former Raiders and Giants quarterback. And Conemaugh Township was actually ineligible for the playoffs last year because they entered a co-op. And so now they're eligible for the playoffs. They are in they're in District 5 1A with Northern Bedford, so this could possibly be a playoff preview. But Northern Bedford has just dominated this year. They're one of the top scoring offenses in our coverage area. They're one of the top defenses in our coverage area. And, Gary Black's a friend of our show, and it just has things rolling for them right now. Now, it's all going to come down to can Northern Bedford beat teams like this and win Burr once it gets to the postseason. But as far as right now, Adam Johnson is just lighting up scoreboards. Ian Snyder, their quarterback, is having a nice year. Aaron Bowers has carried over a really good freshman year into a sophomore year. This is a very talented team, and this will be a nice test for them.
Who did you pick? We put you on the spot there.
I think I picked Northern Bedford, but I mean, I was really not sure again this one. I mean, this one's fun. Both teams have been really good this season. I could be wrong. It could be Conemaugh Township, but hey, that's why we play the game.
See, I sit there and think when you have two teams with the same record, but I look at who Northern Bedford's beaten and who's Conemaugh beaten and everything, and I would think that's what you would take into factor in making a prediction. Those are our 5 games, so we're going to go to the fun stuff now. We have Mike's Stat of the Week, which again, I love the Stat of the Week music that Daniel plays for us on his producing skills. What is our Stat of the Week, Michael?
Well, I thought you guys did a great job. I got to watch your show last week.
Let's go.
But written by Dan Eisenberg, Andy Stein, and Scott Franco. It was one of those collective efforts.
I could tell there was a lot of writing by a lot of different people because that is the Stat of the Week for this week.
Oh,
it took 7 minutes and 40 seconds before anyone talked about a high school football game last week on this show.
You know what
that was in the back of my head when we were doing the beginning. I said, I wonder if Mike's sitting there thinking, and we can do that thinking thoughts, Dan, you can do with the producer going, how long is he going to be? How long is he going to be?
You know what that means, though? Next time he's not here, we got to go.
We have to go. What was it, 7:47?
7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Like a 7.
8 minutes next time.
Well, 7:41. Let's not be gluttons. Anyways, and then, one of my favorite things here, Stein's Line.
Short steps. Short steps are better than long steps.
Okay, So I'm going with the enemy here on Stein's Line. I'm talking about Glendale, because you know that rivalry with Glendale Mo Valley. That's okay. My dad went there. I don't hate him that much. But this is going to be a line that's kind of eye-popping here. They played North Star last week. I believe it was a 28-0 win for the Vikings. How about this right here? Minus 40 yards of rushing. That's right, minus 40. That's amazing. I'm not sure I've ever seen that low of a rushing total. They also had 74 passing for a total of 34 yards. So their D-line is my Stein's Line of the week. Those guys are defensive end Lucas Tarnow, defensive end Landon McGarvey, defensive tackle Danny Williams, defensive tackle Britt Spangle, and nose guard Mason Peterson. Awesome job, guys.
Okay, and now, which actually, I'm in a panic mode here because we came up with a cool name for our cool name segment literally just before we went on the air here. And our producer, Dan, wrote down, but I remembered at least the important parts, the name. Michael, is that the correct? Right, that's our name? Okay.
And let me just say real quick that while on my trip to Alaska, I was seeking healing from having to deal with this, and I was given the cure. So let me just take care of that.
Yeah, there we go.
I would think you could buy those at the Logan Valley Mall, too.
Probably.
Could you not?
Probably.
Okay. Or, one of the other. I don't want to give away free advertising here.
I wanna know what's the name of the game.
He must be.
But our cool name segment, our first one is we're going to say, and I told you I was excited about this one, from Tussey Mountain. He's a sophomore lineman, McCade Wallace. And that is based solely on the first name, McCade, because it sounds like it could be a TV show or a movie like, McCade, get away from my ranch before I call the sheriff. McCade.
That's a good name.
Like Chuck Norris as McCade. And then our other name was, and Mike did recommend this name, and see, it shows you that he does pay attention, because this is a cool name. Conemaugh Township, who we were just talking about, has a kid named Thor O'Ship. He's a senior, and his position eludes me right now. Maybe Dan can like accidentally put a voiceover of me saying what position he is. But Thor O'Ship, that's an apostrophe in there. He's a senior. That's a cool name. That's two cool names.
Yeah, that is a cool name.
Thor
Should have been in the movie.
O'Ship. But it's not. Maybe he could be in a movie with McKay.
Is that like Roadhouse?
That's like Roadhouse. Anyways, we don't want Mike's ears to get too sweaty, so we're going to say goodbye for Andy Stein, for Mike Borden returning back to our show, and all those people that are outside were waiting to audition again. We couldn't let him in. For Dan Eisenberg, our producer, wonderkind, and director, I'm Scott Franco. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.